in North Texas. I need to digitize my former face-to-face classes. So hearing a lot of people come into the situation where they're realizing I need to go online. And many of us have been saying that for years, need to go online, need to go online. This will help you if you are a service-based business tonight. A lot of this will be hopefully eye-opening and clear for you, like a clear path forward. For many of you who have followed some of my stuff, who are already online, hopefully some of this will be review for you in some regard, but might be a little bit of a push of what you should be doing right now. We're all realizing that online is important, not just having a website or Instagram account, but being able to have a way to make money online as opposed to just face-to-face. Yeah. So before we jump in real quick though, if any of you have to leave early, A, we're gonna have Q&A at the end, but B, I wanted to give you a resource in the description below, or if you're watching on Insta, I put together a guide called my 30-day online income jumpstart. It's a PDF. It's a 4-week checklist of how to go from no idea and no audience to making money in 30 days. It won't be a ton of money, but it'll be your first bit of money online. So this is great if you're a service-based business, you've got time on your hands. It'll walk you through some of what we're talking about tonight, but really condensed in a checklist about how to start creating a revenue stream. And if you already have money or a business online, then this should at the very least give you a kick in the pants of how to maybe launch something new if you need to launch something new. And that is in the link below in YouTube, or if you're watching, it's just at grahamcochrane.com/jumpstart. grahamcochrane.com/jumpstart. That's hopefully a helpful resource for you. It's absolutely free. Okay, should we start?
Let's start.
Okay, so 4 steps. This is really simple. We're not that complex of people. This is literally how Shay and I run.
Speak for yourself.
I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I try to keep things very simple. So this is how literally Shay's business is run and my business is run. Like very different on the surface to people, almost identical underneath, right? On the back end. So step number 1 is creating relevant free content. Okay. Free and content. What I have learned in the last 2 years, especially that I've been coaching really hardcore a lot of people with their businesses, I've learned that when I say free content, people think different things. They think Instagram, they think Facebook. And while those things can be content, really what we're talking about is evergreen content like YouTube videos, podcasts, written blog articles, content that lives out there in the world that helps somebody. It teaches them something. It could entertain them if you're in the entertainment space. It could inspire them. But it's typically when you're thinking about a blog post or a podcast you like to consume or your favorite YouTube channel, this is what we're talking about with free content. And I'm going to explain why real quickly, and then we'll give some examples. Why free content? It becomes your marketing. It's the way you get discovered. So discoverability is number 1. The only way people know Shay and I exist and even hear about our products is because they discovered us through a blog post, through a podcast, through a YouTube video. Shay actually does this a lot with Pinterest, believe it or not. So Pinterest is a little bit better than even Instagram or Facebook because it's a search engine as well. Discoverability, people go where when they're looking for something? They go to Google, they go to YouTube, and a lot of people go to Pinterest to look for stuff. Search engine. So you want to show up and be discovered where people are looking. And then when they discover you with your free content, could be a 10-minute video, could be a podcast episode, could be a written article. What this gives them and gives you is an opportunity to get to know each other. Yeah. You can get credibility, you can get authority, you can create that trust because you're teaching them something for free, connecting with them, they get a taste, get a little taste, see what it tastes like, right? A little Nacho Libre taste of you for free. And they instantly know if they like you or not, if they trust you or not, if they want more or not.
So quick question, and then I think we could expound a little bit. How often, Joy asked, how often should we be creating value-based content?
At least weekly.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if you find yourself with a lot of extra time on your hands because of the nature of how your business has been affected, this is the perfect opportunity for you to ramp up content, especially content that can serve as kind of core, evergreen, SEO heavy content for your business. So every week, regularly, but right now, if you find yourself with extra time, I would say put in that extra time. If you can invest that time in content, extra content right now, you're going to serve your business well into the future. And this is where YouTube, blog content, Pinterest is just blog content, but with pins to direct to it. This is where that type of content is going to be a little more valuable for you than, say, Instagram content, because it's just going to be a little bit more easy to search if it is YouTube or blog on Pinterest, etc. So I think this is a really novel concept for some people who maybe have not been in a position where creating content has been a part of the way they've run business. So I'm thinking of like the hair salon that has local customers, or the brick and mortar that has local customers, the esthetician who has local. I'm trying to think of a dude example. Guitar center that has local customers.
No, guitar teachers, instructors.
Somebody with a local-based
musicians
business
that just gig and play shows.
Yeah, and you're like, well, I don't really need to have a blog and need to have public content, because all of my people are
personal trainers, real estate.
It's lots of dude examples. Lots of dude examples. Lots of girl and boy examples. My point being that this is a great time when you can use something like content to add value to your current local customers. So going back to the hair salon example, if you own a local hair salon made up of local customers, now it'll be a great time for you to create some YouTube videos on how to do the perfect blowout, or how to get a perfect back curl, or day to night hair looks, and send it to your current customers. Hey, we miss you guys. We haven't been able to see you. I thought this little piece of content might be helpful for you while you're, on your own doing your hair at home, or on your own learning guitar, or on your own doing at-home workouts. Here's some free content that I've created. So then that content is going to serve a dual purpose. It's going to add value to your local customers. They're going to be able to share it with their friends. It's going to instill their trust. It's going to remind them that you're here and that they can't wait to get back to you. But that stuff is also going to be able to live out in the interwebs, which will help to draw traffic and attention, credibility to your brand as a whole. Yeah, like a lot of fitness instructors and personal trainers are figuring this out. Their gyms are closed, right? Because of social distancing. They can't have people in their gyms, even if, some of them are like small boot camps and like less than 10, but that's even being frowned upon in some places, right? You're completely shut down. So people need to work out still and want to work out at home. Who's winning right now? Beachbody.com is winning right now because they have all their instruction online. But you could still be a little mini Beachbody.com and bring your education online by simply showing up with some YouTube videos, doing daily workouts, doing, daily nutrition, like what you should be eating, like all kinds of stuff that you can put out for free. Now, someone asked, and this is always the question, what do you put out for free versus what should be paid or for your clients? And this is where people get so hung up. And I understand, and I used to get hung up on this. What's crazy about this is this question is based out of, it's a practical question, but it's also based out of fear. It's based out of fear because the fear is if I teach stuff for free, if I make some awesome YouTube videos, they're not going to buy my thing. The irony is that the opposite is true. The more you give away, the more you're going to sell whatever it is you sell. The better your free content is, the more they have a good reason to invest in your paid content. If they've consumed your free content and they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is how much value they're giving away in the free content. I can't even imagine what kind of value they're going to give away in their paid content. Yep. And the free content becomes your marketing. So when people think, how would people even find me online? I've got this time on my hands. Graham and Shay are saying, go online. How are they going to find me? Do I have to run ads? No, you don't need to run ads. Ads don't even need to be part of the equation. The good old fashioned showing up where people are 24/7, which is on YouTube all day long. They're Googling things all day long. Like, what are symptoms of COVID-19? They're on Google for everything. They're on Google for anything. So Google. Outdoor games for kids. People are crushing podcasts all day long. They're on Pinterest all day long. That's where people are. All you have to do is create content that gets pulled on those platforms to be discovered. And then the person, if I'm looking to work out and I YouTube work, easy workouts from home, if I see one person that has one video and he's hoping to get me into a back end course and I have to pay for everything, but there's another channel that has like 100 free videos, I'm going to watch the guy with 100 free videos and become a fan of him. And I'm probably still going to buy his thing eventually anyway. But the more content you have, the better. And guess what? Right now, the reason why this is important right now is because most of you have more time on your hands than you did 3 weeks ago. The biggest con with content is that it takes time to create. Now, you don't have to be a perfectionist. Look at what Shay and I are doing right now. This is content. We just went live.
There's no editing, right? We can't even edit.
Fancy.
Nothing fancy. If we screw up, we screw up. We don't have slides.
We don't have perfect answers.
We don't have a green screen.
We don't have hair and makeup.
Especially me. I don't have any hair or makeup on. And yet this is what? Content.
Yeah.
So you can just go live. In fact, I believe that live video, the last 4 years, live video has been the thing. But I believe right now, this is the fastest, best way for you to create easy content. It shouldn't be the only content you make, but it's a great tool. So we'll move on to the next step. But this is the beginning, like how people find Shay and subscribe to her products, how they find me and subscribe to my products eventually is by doing this, is this relentless commitment to existing online and creating free content.
Jason asked, do you batch record content?
I do a bit of both. Like I've done weekly on like week to week, and then I've done batching. Right now, I literally do both. For one brand, I batch, and the other brand, I do week to week.
I think it depends on what works best for you. Ideally, you need to create whatever kind of situation needs to happen for you to really create really good quality content. So if doing it piecemeal doesn't lend itself to being really good quality content, then you probably need to carve out some time and batch write content. I need to be like in a groove when I'm writing, and then I could like maybe bang out a few pieces of content all at one time. It also depends on what your work schedule looks like. If you are a mom or a dad battling work from home hours and kids that you're now homeschooling, you're going to need to be really strategic with getting content out. So that might mean that you create some kind of situation wherein you can reliably carve out 3 hours of time or 2 hours of time where you could create a bunch of content all at once, because you don't actually really know what the next few days are going to look like, or even what the rest of the day is going to look like. So depending on your circumstances, it might make a lot of sense to batch out content and then drip it out progressively. Yes, don't just like put it all out in the world at once. Batch, drip it out in whatever way makes sense for your platform.
Yeah, Chris brought up a good question too. Facebook groups. Facebook groups aren't necessarily a content platform, but they are a great opportunity to cultivate a little tribe of people. You can create a free Facebook group. It's not a Facebook page, but a Facebook group, and invite people who are like, hey, are you into embroidery? Are you into learning guitar? Like, come join my group, invite your friends, and you can really get to know a group of people there. But that's where you can, only kind of content you can do there is Facebook Lives, which are great. They're like this, but on Facebook. But also, I want you to be creating content on your own platform that you own, and then you share it in that group. Yeah. Right? So
content that you own, meaning like a blog post, a YouTube video, a video that you own that you share to Facebook.
Yeah. So you have more time than you've ever had before. There's no reason why you can't get 1, 2, or 3 pieces of content out a week. Some of you can do 1 a day because literally you have so much extra time on your hands. Don't overthink it. Don't make them crazy impressive. Just show up. The people that show up are going to be the people that build their brand, not the people who get it perfect and roll it out a week or 2 later. Just show up and help some people in your space.
And real quick, because we need to move on to the next piece, but if you're not in the habit of creating content and you're like, I don't even know where to start with content, I would say start with the things people ask you how to do. Whatever your thing is, whether you can cook well, whether you're good at building things, what are the questions that you regularly get asked, and just start building a piece of content for each of those questions that you regularly are asked. Start there, and then ask for more content ideas in the comments. Yeah. Leave a comment below with what you'd be interested in learning about. Was there something about this that stuck out to you? What else would you like to learn about? From there, your kind of content ideas will sort of generate from your audience.
Yeah, it's like, we call it a content feedback loop. You make a piece of content, you get some feedback, and they basically tell you, oh my gosh, I should make more content on X, Y, and Z. So you don't have to overthink it, and you can easily tell what's connecting and what's not connecting with people. Again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the 4 steps you need to follow right now in order to grow your business, not only now, but set you up for when we get through all this, because we're going to get through this. You need to be positioned for the next few years. And I honestly believe, and we'll talk about it at the end, we'll do some Q&A at the end, we're going to bang through these. I honestly believe this is going to be a defining moment in time for so many small business owners who finally get their act together and go online, or the ones who are online finally get serious about showing up and being all over their niche and their space. it's going to set you up really well for the next few years if you dive in now.
If this is the only time in the history of your business that you're able to apply yourself to content, it will still be worth it. Because maybe in the regular course of day-to-day business, there is not space for content. If you can use these next few weeks, hopefully not months, of extra time to create content, even that small window of content is going to be usable again and again and again in the future, and will set you up for greater success later on.
And great point. That's why you want to make evergreen content, YouTube videos, blog podcasts and blogs. As opposed
like
to
Instagram content.
You could go hard on Instagram this month, but what's that going to do for you?
It's going to be gone.
It's gone
next month.
No offense to our friends on Insta that are watching. But you understand the nature of the platform. Instagram has a different purpose. It's not a content platform. It is a connecting tool. It's like in addition to your content. But I make videos. There's videos. My most popular video, let's say on the Recording Revolution, is a video I shot 3 years ago in 2017. It sends me traffic every day. Today, it sends me traffic today that leads people to buy my stuff. And I shot it 3 years ago. That's called efficiency, my friend. Make some of that kind of stuff now. It'll pay dividends down the road. So content
moving right along
is step number 1. And that leads to step number 2, which is your lead magnet or opt-in. Lead magnet or opt-in. Making content is how people discover you and you build credibility and authority. But nowhere in there are you selling anything. So what do we do with that? What we need to do is get them from where their content is, YouTube, blog post, podcast, get them onto an email list. An email list. Why? Because email marketing is the #1 driver of sales online. The studies show it. Email marketing.
Not Instagram?
Nope. Social media, paid or organic, isn't even number 2 or 3. Email marketing is, and all the brick and mortar stores, the Home Depots, the Banana Republics, they sell on email. That's the #1 driver of their online sales, right? It's not just running ads. It's good old fashioned. You're on their list. How did you get on their list? Well, you went to bananarepublic.com.
You traded them.
This little thing popped up, said, "Oh, give us your email address and we'll give you 10% off your first order."
Sounds so innocent.
Wait a second. That was a lead magnet. They drew you in like a magnet. They magnetized you for your email address, and they gave you something in exchange for it, 10% off your next order. Now, that's how all of a sudden you're getting emails from Banana Republic. Oh, spring sale. Oh, that's convenient.
How convenient.
Oh, there's a new sweater. Oh, new khakis.
I was just looking at khakis.
I needed more khakis. How did I get this email? Oh, because at some point, and I don't even remember when, because that's the whole point, I exchanged my email address for something in exchange. So everyone's doing this, always has, and they will continue to do this, and you need to do this. Going back to social media, and we'll explain what this looks like in a second. If everyone just follows you on Instagram, let's say you have 1 million followers on Instagram, and you're crushing it. What happens when everybody leaves Instagram and goes to TikTok? Not just the
I
you know,
just can't. If that happens, I quit.
Not just the 11-year-olds. I'm talking everybody, your mom, everyone leaves Instagram and goes to TikTok.
Your grandma.
What is that 1 million followers Instagram going to get you when no one's on there anymore? What does it even get you now when it's like 3% organic reach?
It makes you feel warm and fuzzy. Inside.
Yeah, it feeds your ego. That's what it does. Feeds my ego. I don't have 1 million, but the other problem, what if Instagram, aka Facebook, aka Mark Zuckerberg, decides to change the algorithm again, which they continue to do, and fewer people see your posts? There's a middleman between you and your audience when your audience is on a platform like Facebook. That
middleman is Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Mark. If you want to play in Mark's sandbox and make him richer, you can, and he's happy to do that. If you get someone's email address, there's no middleman. Yeah. You have a direct line of contact with them. You just email them and show up in their inbox. Way different than building a following on social. So we want that email address so that we can follow up with them and eventually sell them product. Does that make sense as a concept? Who here has a lead magnet or an opt-in?
Well, I'm so curious about how many of you have a email list for your business. I think there's been more chatter about the need for an email list and email marketing in general, but I'm not sure if everyone feels like an email list is right for them. Are we to that point yet? So do you guys have an email list? Okay, so a lot of people are saying yes. Do you think that an email list applies to everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Does breathing air apply to everyone? Yes. Yes, everyone needs an email address.
But what about people that say, like, my inbox is so full, I get so many emails, like, how is that even effective? Email is dying.
It's just anecdotal and they're wrong.
Yeah.
So the stats show that you're wrong. So email, okay, there's this, I don't know the exact stat. I think it's in the 90%, 90 some odd percent of, 95% of people who have an active email address check it every day. That's insane.
I should start checking my personal email more often.
We aren't actually in that stat. We're really bad at checking email. But most people check their email every day. Most people never change their email address. There's still AOL email addresses, I know, and Hotmail. I know you Hotmail people are out there.
AOL.com people.
It might be an old school tool, but it is still the primary way people receive important information. What's interesting is that people think, oh, everyone's on social media. And while that may be true, it's a different experience. They're going to social media to distract, have fun, to get a laugh, to see COVID-19 memes.
That's why I'm on there.
They open up their inbox to get information. I needed something from somebody sent me something. Now there's lots of spam and promotion, but we don't send that. And you shouldn't send that. All you're sending is amazing, valuable stuff. And if these people opted in for your list, it was because you gave them a lead magnet. Let's explain what a lead magnet is. It's something that they wanted. Yeah. You didn't force them to join, right?
You didn't trick them. This is not clickbait. This is real, actual, valuable, helpful, free content that you're giving them. We have a few people that have asked, like, having trouble figuring out what kind of lead magnet to have. How do you come up with your lead magnet? So let's
So all a lead magnet is it can be anything that's valuable. So the retail stores gave a discount, let's say. Shay's done discount in the past. Shay's done some free images to get started. Look, a simple example, I teach recording and audio production for the Recording Revolution brand. And so there are people that found me on YouTube or a blog and they want to learn how to record their music. I just give them content very similar to what they've been, if they watch the video and they're like, man, that video was helpful. What if at the end of that video on how to get your vocals to sound better when you're singing into the microphone, if I said, hey, if this video is helpful, why don't you download my vocal recording checklist? It's a simple PDF that goes through all the things you need to do to make sure that you get the best vocal recording every time. It's free. Just go to grahamsvocalchecklist.com, download it. Oh, that's a no-brainer for someone that was watching that video that really enjoyed that video. They're like, oh, that would be so helpful.
If you're not at the point where you're doing like nuanced opt-ins that kind of correspond to certain specific pieces of content, then I would just start with something that's going to be helpful to your audience based on who your audience is and what they're coming to you for. So if you are a food blogger, then maybe you're going to create a checklist that's like 30 simple kids lunches, healthy kids lunches, and that's going to be your PDF, or 30 simple 15-minute meals for weeknight dinners or something like that. So just make it relevant to the overall reason why they are there, the type of content that they're there to consume, something that will be helpful for them. You could always test it out and ask your audience, like, which would be more helpful, this or this? Would you like a PDF of a guide to this or a guide to this? You could always ask whatever audience you have to kind of get a feel for what would be interesting to them.
Yeah. And it's basically just another piece of content, but it's an exclusive piece that you're not posting for free publicly. They have to opt in for it and give you their email address. And what this does is it takes the wide net of people that found you and maybe discovered you and liked a piece of content, hopefully. It funnels them into people that wanted to go one step further with you and want more of what you have to offer. So you're basically creating a curated list of warm leads that will be on your email list who really like your stuff. At least they liked it enough to find you and then give you their email address to get what you were offering. So some of you, there's going to be two camps of you. Some of you here have never made a lead magnet, which could be a simple PDF. It could be an audio recording if you do podcasting.
It could be a simple video.
Some of you need to make one, and you need to start building an email list through a platform like MailChimp.com or ConvertKit, or if you're on the Kajabi train, like
Flowdesk would be another good one to try.
Flowdesk is good. Kajabi does everything for your online business, but allows you to collect emails. But a tool that collects your emails, that can create the little simple forms for you. And that way, if you have 100 people on your list or 200, or you're ready to send out an email to any one of them, you just type an email and it sends it to everybody. You're not Gmailing people or doing a BCC, or it's collecting your emails.
Please don't BCC.
Please don't do that.
A bunch of people. MailChimp is free to start out with.
So some of you need to make your first one,
Yeah.
and we can talk about that in the Q&A towards the end, but some of you already have one or two or three. And what you can do right now is make a more relevant one
or
right
update
now.
the one that you have. If you've had it for the last 5 years and you just have never had time to update it because you're so busy kicking butt and doing awesome business, and now you're finding yourself with lots of free time, now's a great time to update the lead magnet that you have. A/B test lead magnets.
Yeah, exactly.
If you got some free time on your hands.
I've definitely made some that worked for a little while, but then I came up with better ones, and then people liked them. You don't, again, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
A great opportunity. There's one of my students, Brad, I think is on the live here on YouTube. He's a finance coach. And so he's helping people with their money. Well, his brand just got really more helpful and relevant right now because a lot of people have money problems and they're like, oh man, I need to figure this stuff out. So not only is he more relevant than ever before, but he got smart and updated a lead magnet and updated a post and made it specific to the current economic crisis. It's like how to survive a financial crisis, COVID-19 edition. And so he just got really smart and said, hey, this is actually super relevant right now. Let me promote this at least for the next month or two, because it might be more helpful to people right now.
And again, just another little way of saying this, that it has to be valuable content. What we are not saying is capitalize on this opportunity, this time, or capitalize on anything else with crappy, not helpful content. Because what's going to happen is once they've consumed that content, they're going to see right through you. So it has to be good, helpful content. The reason why this guy's content was so timely, the reason why you decided to forward it onto your entire list is because it was actually good, beneficial, helpful content. So what we're not saying is clickbait. What we're not saying is like just stupid little compilations of 10-part lists. What we're saying is something that's going to actually be valuable, because if it's not valuable, they're not going to pay attention to anything else you're going to send them.
And that's what's so great about this business model is you can't trick people.
Yeah.
You just can't. People are too smart. You are the product. Whatever you're selling, like you are the product, and you cannot break their trust. So it really puts the onus on you, and the brands that are constantly honest and transparent and trustworthy and offer value are going to be the ones that have an audience for life. Because here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a little audience, because once you have an audience, anything's possible. You can monetize that audience in a million ways. If you don't have an audience that knows you and likes you and trusts you, then you're trying to come up with weird ways to make money online. People, what they usually type into YouTube, this is a tangent, but it's relevant. What people usually type into YouTube or on Google is how to make money online. And while that's what they want, because they need money right now, what they should be trying to figure out how to do is how do you cultivate an audience that loves you and trusts you and would jump if you said jump, would just do anything you say. That's where the power is, because then you can monetize that audience, and monetize is not a bad word, but you can offer courses or membership sites, or you could do live events when we're allowed to hang out in person again. You can do paid live streams or webinars. You can sell products. You can do affiliate promotions because they trust you. You can do anything if they trust you. So what you want to figure out how to do is cultivate an audience and own that list on your email list.
The Good Cooks Academy, great example. I just created a lead magnet called Simple Cooking for Hard Times. 500 signups in 4 days. Because that's value. I could use some simple.
That's great.
Some simple meals for hard times.
That's awesome.
All right, we should keep going.
Yes. And back to your questions at the end. Step 3, you created content, they found you, they trust you, they've got a taste of how you are. You've offered them a lead magnet so they want more, they're on your email list. What happens when they get on your email list? And I saw some questions come through.
Forever.
For most people, they sit there and then
die.
Like,
It's a graveyard where warm leads come to die.
Bug them by do you know how many times I get asked,
I don't want to bother them.
how do I email them without bugging them? I'm like, you're not bugging them.
They gave you their email address.
So unless you're sending them like really, really dumb stuff. So here's what you can do. There's the 2 things that you do once they're on your list. One is ongoing, and one you only do one time. What I want you to focus on right now is the one-time thing, and you create a simple email funnel. Now, if you have nothing to sell yet, then this simple email funnel is going to be simply 2 emails. One, they get the email right away when they opt in for your lead magnet. So if it's the Good Cooks Academy, the first email they get is instant, and it's the download of the Simple Cooking for Hard Times guide. So that's email 1. They get what they asked for. Yeah. Great. Then the next day they get one more email from you, if it were me, and it would say, how can I help you right now? ?
Mhm.
That's the subject line. And then all it says is, hey, I saw you signed up yesterday. Hope you got the guide. Here's the link in case you missed it.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy it. How can I help you with your cooking right now, or your food, or
Yeah.
your kitchen, if that was the subject? Just hit reply and let me know.
And remember that's such a good tip, because there's so many people that don't have a product yet and are like, okay, well, I'm just like not really going to collect emails because I don't have a product yet. And what you're saying is, no, create an email, because A, you're going to need people to sell that product to once you actually have a product. But B, you need to know what product you should make, because the worst thing you could do is just make a product that you think is a good idea that no one has validated. So that is an excellent opportunity to say, how can I help? And then catalog their responses. Pay attention to what they're asking for.
Yeah, it shows that you're a real person that wants to respond to emails, because some of them will respond, most won't statistically, but some will. And then when you respond back, hey, thank you so much, that's a great suggestion. They're like, oh my gosh, she's a real person. Oh my gosh, she's a real person. So that's all you need right now if you don't have a product. If you have a product or a service that you can give online or whatever, but you still don't have an email funnel, this is your opportunity to send them some follow-up, over-deliver value after they opted in, to just continue to show them that they made a really good decision to get on your list. So it could be like, hey, I know you opted in for the simple cooking for hard times guide, but you know what? I've got this amazing guide, like my grandma's favorite cookies that works every time guide. I just want to give it to you. It's an awesome recipe, or whatever it could be. An additional piece of content that you think is cool. That's just like hey, I want you to have this. That solidifies the trust, like that over deliver. You need at least one over deliver. And then from there, you can eventually transition into a product or a service, depending on what you offer. And I wanted to just give you a simple 5-day email sequence that I teach a lot of my students as a concept. I'm not going to give you what to say, but it's really easy to remember. If someone joined your list and you had a product that you want them to buy, could be an online course, could be joining social squares like Shay's subscription product. It could be to sign up for coaching with you, or to fill out an application for something, or to whatever it would be. If you have 5 emails, the day after they join, teach them something cool on day 1, teach them something cool on day 2. So content. And then on day 3, teach them a simple concept and transition to your product or service, how it's a natural fit. And then you pitch on day 4 and pitch on day 5. So teach, transition to your pitch. If you're sharing content that's relevant to what you teach and share on your platform anyway, and what's relevant to the product or service that you have, this is the most natural way to sell, because if they're not interested, they will stop opening the emails and tune out. And if they are interested, the moment they get to that first pitch, they're like, oh my gosh, dude, I kind of need this.
Yeah.
And from there, they get a follow-up the next day and a follow-up the next day, because you always want to pitch at least 3 times. You never just pitch once, because they may not open it, or they may have missed it, or they may need to think about it. At that point, it's up to them to decide if they can afford it or want to buy it. But it's so natural, so not pushy, because you're adding value right after they opted in, and it naturally transitions into a pitch for whatever your product or service is.
Yeah. My music minister brought up a great point, that basically what, I'm not sure if it's a he. I think it's a he. I can't see the thumbnail, but you're creating free content. And so what he's doing is he's just once a week emailing out his list and saying, here's the newest piece of content. And if that's all you do with your list beyond the funnel, that's a great use of the list. So if you have the funnel to send them through that's sending them to the product, but you're like, I don't know what else to email them, just directing them to the blog content or whatever content you're putting out is a great way to use your email list.
Absolutely. And that's what I do every week. Hey, here's my latest podcast episode. Here's my latest video, right? You're just showing up in their inbox to stay relevant and to just deliver value for free. And it's a real simple rhythm to get into. Don't let your email list sit. The only point of having the email list is to stoke the fire and keep it engaged. So you want to just send your free stuff all the time. And you should be making free content at least weekly. That was step number 1 we talked about. And that never ends. That's the piece of this puzzle that never ends. But it's fun, and it's also your marketing. So it's worth it, because it keeps people finding you and discovering you.
I know we were kind of talking about the funnel, but someone asked, how often should I be emailing my list?
At least weekly. So once a week is a great rhythm. You can do more than that too. What you'll find is if you email more than that, if it's all valuable, you'll still start to funnel some people out that might like unsubscribe a little bit more often, but you'll get a more engaged list. So it's never bad to email a lot if it's valuable. So at the most, I was emailing 3 times a week, but usually I'm around 1 or 2 times a week.
And do you have some experience with this? Can you just give us a picture of how long you've had an email list and what size your email list is? Do you even know what you're talking about?
So I've been doing this since 2009. And my email list is about 350,000 people right now after deleting some peeps. Those peeps.
Sorry, peeps.
I have to delete them if they don't open my emails after a long time. But
Okay.
yes.
So you've had a little bit of experience with it.
Caleb says, to be honest, I'm terrified of unsubscribes. Let me stop for a second. You should love unsubscribes.
Yeah.
People who unsubscribe for usually 3 reasons. 1, they hate your guts. And that's a very small percentage of people. Because why would they hate your guts? They actually joined your list at some point. So they can't completely hate you. They wanted what you had, but then they wanted to get off your list, which that means you still had something that they liked, which can make you feel real good inside. You still got them. So that's a small percentage. A lot of people unsubscribe because they no longer need your emails, and they've realized that, like, dude, yeah, he keeps sending me emails, but I'm not opening them anymore, or I'm not interested in music anymore, or I'm not interested in business anymore. And so every time I send out an email, I have about 200 people that unsubscribe, to give you an idea. Every week when I send out an email, about 200 people unsubscribe.
And he only cries himself to sleep for about 15 minutes a night.
It used to be longer. Why are they unsubscribing? They're unsubscribing because that email reminded them, oh yeah,
I hate Graham's
I hate Graham's.
It's his V-neck t-shirt.
I was about to say that. You
I
beat me
just
to it.
hate his V-neck t-shirt.
Oh gosh. They're not deep enough. That's people just would like it to, you want it to go deeper, right? No. So they'll unsubscribe because they no longer need your stuff, which means they should leave anyway. Or they unsubscribe because they just don't, you said something they didn't like and they're just really an angry person, which is very few. Usually it's just because they no longer need your stuff or are no longer interested.
Which is fine. That's fine. You don't need them on there.
Absolutely. And the reason you want them to leave is because they would never buy your stuff anyway.
Correct.
If they don't need your free stuff or aren't interested in your free stuff anymore, they're probably not going to buy your paid stuff. So if you have a MailChimp account or not Kajabi, but MailChimp and ConvertKit, some of these dedicated lists, you have to pay by the number of people on your list.
Yeah.
I pay thousands of dollars a month for my email list, right, on ConvertKit. That's a lot of money. I don't want to be paying for people that don't even open my email. So I say good riddance if they unsubscribe. It keeps your list a little more cleansed.
Yeah, that's great. We'll keep rolling.
We got to keep rolling.
There's good questions coming in, but
we're going to jump into Q&A.
Save them for the end.
Yep. And fourth and final step. So if the first 3 are practical, you need to be creating lots of free content right now on evergreen platforms, YouTube, your blog, or a podcast, not social media. That doesn't count. You need to be doing lots of real content, evergreen content. You need to offer a lead magnet or an opt-in to get people on your email list. It has to be valuable and really cool. Always have an email funnel, even if it's that one email, hey, how can I help you right now? And then email them weekly with your latest content. The 4th step is our favorite, and it's not a tactic as much as it is a worldview and a mindset, but has lots of tactical applications, and that is be generous. So generosity as a whole is the coolest thing ever. And generosity is actually what we just talked about, is the foundation of that business model. The only way Shay and I make money is because we're generous by giving away something for free, usually lots of somethings. About 90 to 95% of the content that I've ever filmed or created or taught, I give out to the world for free. So I love this business model because it starts with giving. I don't get to make a sale until someone has consumed something I gave for free. And so that's already baked into what we just taught you. But what we're talking about right now, when people are struggling, here is a cool opportunity for any business, any type of business, to really build some loyalty and to create customers and clients for life. You can not only give out free product or service if you want to. I know some of you have been doing that. I know there's different examples where people like gave out a course to someone who really needed it, or gave someone free access to a membership who couldn't afford it, but you felt you just wanted to be kind. But you can over-deliver in crazy ways to your current students or your current clients. You can do things that don't normally scale.
Like things you don't normally have time for.
You could follow up with past clients and just get them on the phone or email them personally directly, or reach out and DM them on a social platform and just check in with them to see how they're doing and see if there's anything you can do for them. anything that you can do to invest in people right now that goes above and beyond and is at a cost to your time or your product or your resources right now, when everyone else is in conserve mode, in hoarding toilet paper mode, in like, I'm going to like shut and lock my door to the outside world and take care of me and my own. And I'm not really thinking about other people, not because I'm a jerk, but because that's naturally what we do when times are scary and tough. Every man for himself. That's our default, unfortunately. Be the opposite of the default. Be the person that's like, hands open. How can I serve and go above and beyond for someone right now?
Yeah. That was great. I don't really have anything to add to that.
Zero Debt Coach, which is Brad Long, by the way, says, I have toilet paper. Just saying.
I feel like we should take a poll of how many rolls of toilet paper everyone has here. And then we should disperse it, the rich to the poor.
Yeah. This is like Robin Hood? Yes. Okay. Socialism? Robin Hood was a socialist. All right. Blessing Inspire says, thanks. I hear you on being generous. How do you measure?
Lead magnet, free toilet paper if you
sign up now. There you go, Darren. Man, people are paying attention.
Timely.
She wants to know, how do you measure when it's enough generosity, especially when you're starting out? Example, how many one-on-one trainings should you offer? As many as you feel like you can. Like,
depends on how much free time you have.
If you have lots of free time, now is an opportunity to do something. You don't have to commit to it forever, but do something. So one of my students, and he didn't even ask me about this. I just feel like I beat it into his head enough. It rubbed off. One of my students is just a really, really legit mastering engineer who's a music guy, but he also started coaching people in a similar business, coaching them in their businesses, and he has paid clients. I just saw him send out a blast message or something somewhere saying, hey, I'm offering like a certain number of slots of free one-on-one coaching for the next month. Cool. Here's an application, first come, first serve. He just opened up free coaching. Yeah. And I was like, that guy, it's been beaten to his head and he gets it. Like, do something that doesn't scale just because you can and just because it will bless somebody, because those people will be loyal for life.
I saw a girl who is offering a grant to a small business in need. And I haven't looked much into it, but she's offering a grant, I'm assuming out of her own business resources.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So generosity.
There's a million ways you could apply that. But that, I think right now, obviously everyone and their mom is online doing live streams like this, promoting stuff. Hopefully they're all trying to help you. A lot of them are just trying to capitalize. How can you raise your hand and give more than anybody else? Like, someone
is trying to give us a free hip hop dance workout. 100% yes. And we will make a live recording doing that free hip hop dance training. Sorry.
And Gonzalo says that Robin Hood was actually more of a libertarian. He took back the taxes that the government stole from people. Interesting. That's a fascinating philosophy. We should talk about that at some point. Okay. I hope that's helpful. And real quick, we're going to jump into Q&A. But if you haven't already, again, below there's a PDF. And if you're on Instagram, it's at grahamcochrane.com/jumpstart. Guess what? This is a lead magnet. So this is a little meta, but I'm offering you my lead magnet. It is a 30-day online income jumpstart. So if you haven't created an online income business or online income stream, here's how it's a checklist for us to go from no audience to making money in 30 days. It won't be complete 9-to-5 job replacement, but it'll be your first sale in 30 days. And you will have basically built out what we just shared. And it walks you through what to do step by step by step by step. And it's absolutely free. Links below or grahamcochrane.com/jumpstart.
So the 4 things were: start creating content. Number 2,
lead magnet or
opt-in. You need a lead magnet or an opt-in. Number 3, you need an email funnel, even if it's just a 2-email funnel and you don't have anything to sell them. Number 4, be generous. Now is a great time, and there are a million ways that you can be generous. Someone said, I lost who it was. I speak CLL. I can give free Spanish classes. That is a excellent use of time right now.
Yeah.
Putting free Spanish classes on YouTube, excellent use of time right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, Q&A. The Q's and the A's.
How can we help you? It doesn't have to be about these steps, but we're monitoring, and we'll also try to monitor the Instagram feed as well.
I know I've been so delinquent to my Instagram friends. Hi, guys. Okay, let's see.
You can go down. They're coming down at the bottom.
That's the bottom one.
Yeah. Best way to pivot from a service-based business to a digital product.
Oh, yeah. There's a million ways to pivot.
What's your niche? Who do you help? Who do you serve?
I transitioned from a service-based business to a digital product-based business. So without knowing what your background was, I can give you the 2-second version of mine. I was a commercial product stylist and photographer. I was a wedding photographer before that, but for a while I was a commercial and product stylist and photographer. That was not scalable. And I wanted something that was scalable that I could do in less time instead of trading my hours for dollars. So if my product or service was imagery, commercial grade imagery, what I did was transition that into a styled stock shop where people could buy stock imagery to build into the branding of their creative businesses, specifically female entrepreneurs. That eventually transitioned into social squares, which is what I'm known for now, which is a stock image membership for platforms like Instagram and Pinterest. So same core product, commercial imagery that can be used to build a brand for online marketing, but now I offer it in membership format. So that's just one way that you could take a service-based business into digital, but usually oftentimes it's going to involve maybe transitioning to education. That's not always the only option for transitioning service, but that's kind of like a logical one. Sorry, I keep shaking the table. I need to get my hands off the table. It's like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, and the person that asked the question, Startup Canada, says they're in the service of the industry of business-minded millennials. Well, that's easy. Like, are you? I'm guessing you're coaching people, even online. To turn it into courses, turn it into a membership site where you can do group coaching, where you can have a subscription-based product or sell courses. That's what I do.
All right. So someone said, should there be a general lead magnet for an overall website or more specific to, say, a video lesson? So you can have both. You should have a general lead magnet that is like a pop-up opt-in, but then it is also a great idea to have what we would call like a content upgrade that's specific to particular pieces of content. And then the opt-in is related to, builds off of that specific piece of free content. So have both.
On Insta, Haley says, are you lowering your prices or adjusting your offer during this time because of COVID? That's a really good question.
It's a good question.
I see some people doing that. I'm not doing that.
I'm not
lowering
either.
prices.
But I mean, I think it just really depends. Like if you feel like your product is priced really, really well and is either affordable or is a really great value trade-off, then you don't necessarily need to lower your prices. And lowering your prices can have a lot of negative side effects as well. So it's just not as simple as like, oh, times are tough, lower your prices. That does a lot to your business as a whole. It also does a lot within your industry. So I would just not jump to that first. I would rather add value before reducing your price. So maybe instead of reducing your price, give them something else in addition and keep your price the same. Yeah. Did I read your mind?
You did. I think Seth Godin said it best, Haley. Give more for more.
Yeah.
So sales, I don't like sales. I don't like price cuts in general. I don't even really like Black Friday sales. I like Black Friday bonuses. Like, so you're paying the same price, but you're getting more, let's say. So give more for more. That's a better way to take advantage of this time. And then Comfort in Cashmere Images says, how do you recommend getting your lead magnet out there? So 2 ways. One is make lots of content. Every video, every blog post, every podcast, you should be mentioning your lead magnet all the time, and then put out content that's evergreen and searchable. 2, if you have a social media following, tell them.
So if your free content is blogging, then make sure that you're creating, let's say, like 10 Pinterest images to go along with that blog post. And then you're putting them out on Instagram, and they're all unique pins that are pointing to that particular piece of content. Once they get to that piece of content, they're going to see your opt-in, either because it's a pop-up or because it's embedded at the bottom of your blog post.
Shape Music asked this question, and it's a little more philosophical. I really worry about our economy. I can't help but feel there's not enough money to be made. It's not a mindset that I want to have, so I was hoping you might have a bit of insight on that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people feel that way. But, let me give you an example. A lot of people felt that way in 2008. I mean, 2008, I don't know if you remember much, but all the news articles, all the videos were like, dude, this time it's different. They were like, this is literally the end. Like, we will never bounce back from this. This is the worst it's ever been. Like, it was projected to be over. And it was hard for a while. But here's the thing. We always bounce back. We always do. So if you really want to feel better about economies, at least in the US, but it's also global, just go back and do some research on all the major recessions we've had. And they happen every 8 to 9 years, every war. Go back from even before the Great Depression and see how everything collapsed and see how long it took for the markets and everything to come back. We bounce back. We always do. But just on a foundational level, our economy is still really strong. All we need is people to be able to go back to work. Now, some industries are going to be affected for a longer period of time, but there is still lots of money. The money hasn't gone away. People just aren't spending it right now because people aren't making it right now. It's just on pause. So the beautiful thing about the marketplace is it's not a fixed amount of money. It's not fixed pie economics. The moment we're allowed to go back to work, and some of us are still working, like our businesses are really blessed that we're online. We're able to still keep selling. Money and value is always still being exchanged, and it will come back. That's why it's more important than ever for you to start building your audience now and building that loyalty so that you have some branding and some positioning when people have a little bit more looseness on their pocketbooks, when they're able to make money and spend money.
Kind of a specific question. Do you mention your lead magnet within the first minute or so of YouTube video or the end? Or do you simply link it and not say anything at all?
Always say something. Don't just link to it. Always draw attention to it. And you can do both. I do both. Sometimes I only do it at the end. Sometimes I do it at the beginning and the end.
The Schoolhouse site asks, should we always make 10 pins per content piece? So Pinterest just recently changed the algorithm. So what I would do is do a little bit of research on the announcement that they made about that algorithm change. But I do believe that the recommendation is somewhere between 5 and 15 individual unique pins for each blog post. So it means you create a blog post, you need to have 10 different images, 10 different pins, different titles, and you're going to put them up individually at different times. So go check their announcement for like the specific recommendations. I'm sure you could find some Reddit threads about that. But that is the algorithm change that has been made recently to Pinterest. And if you need images for those Pinterest images, I got you on Social Squares.
Alicia Record Studio. When should I start creating my first product? Should I wait until I get my followers? I only have 20 people on my mailing list. Sad face.
That's okay. That's a good start.
It's a good start. Yeah. Practical question. I would certainly wait until you have, I like to say 500 people on your list, which sounds like a lot.
Start a product.
So
before you launch a product.
Don't worry about it. But if you need to make money sooner, you could launch coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You don't worry about the digital product, but you could offer application for some one-on-one coaching right now and get one client paying you a couple $100 a month for something or more, depending on what you offer. So you could make money sooner, but it may not be a course, let's just say, because you're probably not going to convert that many people to a course with 20 people. So
I don't know that this is a very easy question to answer, but there was a piano teacher who had kind of asked something. Given that we hopefully only have let's not get into the time frame of this, but let's say we have a few months when this is like really, really bad. If someone can't pump out a course in that amount of time, what's another way that they could monetize their product or service that isn't creating a course?
Yeah, I mean, I think
courses can take some time.
I think coaching is the absolute fastest way to do it.
So this person in particular was a piano teacher. So would that be like
virtual lessons?
Virtual lessons,
yep. That's probably all you can do. So that takes no prep, that takes no funnels, no sales copy. That's just announcing to your people that you have an application, that kind of thing. I think we lost some of our Instagram.
Oh yeah, I totally did. Anyway.
All right. Someone had a question about practically where do you sell your courses? What platform? They mentioned all the ones you shouldn't use. Just joking. You said like Udemy, Thinkific. Any of those work great. I can't find your comment. Oh yeah, it's I Speak CLL. Udemy, Teachable, Thinkific. Those are all platforms to sell courses. My favorite is Kajabi. It's the easiest to use. It's the best looking, and it's more than just selling courses. It can also be your website. It can also be your email list. It can do webinars. It can be all your landing pages. You can try it out for free. They have a free trial. I have an affiliate link if you want to check that out, where I can double the free trial to be a month long. Just go to grahamcochrane.com/Kajabi, and you can at least play with it for 28 days and see if you like it. Any of those will help you sell your courses, but you're kind of locked into their platform and the way it looks, where you can design your courses with Kajabi themes a lot better, and it's a lot more robust.
Robust.
All
right. With my online dance business I'm launching, would it be wise to put a course together or launch a Patreon and update monthly with content? Patreon's kind of a very specific thing to introduce, but
yeah, I'm Patreon. I have friends that make 6 figures on Patreon, but they have massive following on YouTube, but they don't really have anything specific to sell. He's an entertainer. So Patreon's great for content creators on YouTube, let's say, who are entertainers. They're comedians, they're talking heads. They don't really have anything like to sell. If you are an instructor, if you're a dance instructor and you can teach dance, I think you could make way more money having your own courses or your own membership site than just Patreon. It's just my opinion. You can do well on both platforms, and it's a great platform. I know the guys that founded it, but I really think when you own your own products, you have more profit margin.
There was another question that I missed. Thanks to all you guys that are saying thank you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
What happens to Coach Amina Z says, Shay, what happens to old videos on YouTube where I didn't mention my lead magnet? Is there a way to go back and retroactively add a lead magnet? That's a great question.
Yeah. So you can go back and update the description to have the lead magnet URL at the very top of the description so they don't have to scroll down and see it. You can then leave a comment on your own video with the lead magnet link and pin it so it stays at the top of all the comments, so it's very easy to see. Mm-hmm. And if you have a certain number of subscribers, it's not very many, but they changed the number now, you can add cards that pop up on the screen and even end screens at the very end of the video that have images that can are clickable, that can link anywhere you want to link to the lead magnet. It's better than nothing. Certainly it's not as powerful as you saying, go download this thing and then it pops up on the screen, but you can easily retroactively add those flyover things or those links.
Melissa asked, I really need help with this. What could be a digital lead magnet for an artist who otherwise works in physical media, painting, drawing?
Oh, yes. So one of my students is an artist. Let me pull her up on Insta. You can check out what she does. What is her latest?
I don't know if this is helpful at all, but I know that we have personally purchased from artists. I'm not sure. You said painting, drawing, who will do renditions from photographs. So you can send in a photograph and they'll actually do like an actual artist renditioning of that photograph. That wouldn't be a lead magnet though. I guess that would be like an individual product you could sell.
Yeah. So it depends. So you're are you an artist or artist instructor?
She's an artist who otherwise works in physical media.
Okay, so what you need to become is an artist instructor. You have so many people at home right now who are bored out of their minds. And I have many students who are in the arts instruction space who are booming right now because people are like, you know what? I'd love to learn how to do watercolor.
Or they need something for their kids to do.
Yeah.
If you're good at teaching children.
Maybe you don't want to be an instructor, but you have the knowledge that they want. So Josie Lewis, I was going to say, she's on Instagram. She crushes on Insta, has like 500,000 followers, but she's one of my coaching students. And what she offers right now is she says on Instagram, ready to paint, get 16 free watercolor templates, right? Watercolor templates. So she gives away, she has a free creative flow course, watercolor templates. She has a bunch of different things like that. That's kind of the mindset you need to get in because maybe doing art is your main thing, but why not have art instruction as another income stream that you build right now while you got some time, but then also can live on in the future while you focus back on regular art?
Trying to see if we've caught it all. How much free content should I focus on giving per video? One topic or an overview of topics? And length range of videos. That's from John Casey.
Yeah, John, you want to give away as much free content as you possibly can.
But I think he means like per video. Like, do you focus on?
Oh, per video.
Well.
Yeah, you're right.
How much free content should I focus on giving per video? Yeah,
so usually be granular. Like what we're doing tonight is like a big, long training. This is not the typical type of content you usually want to give. Usually you want to teach someone. Think about YouTube. When your toilet breaks, like for example, I needed to replace a toilet handle on my toilet. And I YouTube how to replace toilet handle on your toilet. I don't want a lecture on how toilets work. I don't want an overview. I just want how to do that one thing. So that's what that video better show me when I search it and I see a guy, it's like, here, how to do the one thing. That's all I want. So think about all the specific questions you could answer. Just answer that one question. A lot of times that question can be broken up into a few different parts. I like to think like a good Baptist sermon, 3 main points, no more, 1, 2, 3. But focus on one main thing you want to share. It should be very clear what you're sharing. Length doesn't matter too much. if you want to get granular about YouTube in particular as a platform, back in the day, YouTube, people said make short videos. People's attention spans are low. You just want as many views as possible. YouTube changed their currency a few years back. They don't care about views, number of views. They don't care if you have 1 million views. They care about watch time. How many minutes of your content are people watching? Because they want people to binge. They want people to stay on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So that's what they value, and they will pump you up higher if people watch more minutes of your video. So the simplest way to get more minutes watched is to make more minutes for them to watch. So longer videos actually perform better on YouTube, even though people will always complain like, oh, it's too long. You could have said that shorter. You don't really care. As long as it's valuable, they're getting more minutes watched. You're going to rank higher in YouTube. So however long it takes is fine, but practically speaking, 10 to 20 minutes on the long end. You can get less than 10 minutes if you want to, but usually 10 to 20 is a sweet spot.
Ryan May asked, if I choose to, do I need YouTube, Instagram, Facebook? How do you decide where to put out your content? Specifically if we're talking about as evergreen content.
Like 2, is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Number 2?
First of all, it depends where your audience is. So you're going to want to put out content where your audience is. But as we kind of mentioned earlier, Instagram is not really going to be your best place for what we're calling evergreen content, or content that is going to push people towards your funnel for years and years and years to come. So the places where you are going to want to do evergreen content are either a blog, YouTube, podcast. Those are really the main 3 for evergreen content. So in terms of which one of those you choose, it really just depends on what you're best at. What's your best format? Are you better on video? Do you have a face for radio? Is that what they say? Yeah. And maybe you should be a podcaster. Are you a great writer? So it just really depends. And then where are people, where's your audience consuming content? Where do they prefer to consume content?
Yeah. So if you had to pick 2, I would pick one of those evergreen platforms, so YouTube, a blog, or a podcast. Maybe pick one of those, and then pick one social media platform to go in, Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
TikTok, if that's your thing.
Oh gosh, TikTok. White Fader says, can you give me some lead magnet ideas for mixing engineers? Yeah, look at what I do on the Recording Revolution, like mixing checklists, mixing cheat sheets, your plugin guides, like the ultimate plugin guide of what the top plugins are, the best free plugins, the best reverb plugins. Like, just think like what.
Don't people even love like mic reviews and things like that?
Well,
like,
he's talking about,
be a good idea?
It would be, but he's talking about mixing engineers, so they're not actually recording. But
I should pay closer attention.
No, it's all right. Yeah, it's nuances. It's okay. I'm actually proud of you that.
Thank you.
She's come a long way, guys, in the audio space. Darius says, can you sell an online course with a yearly subscription fee? Yes, you can. You can. If it's a yearly subscription, it probably needs to have some element that's ongoing also, and not just the course. Because it really isn't just a course if there's an ongoing price to be paid.
Right.
So it could be that there's a part of a community they get access to in addition to that course, or there's some kind of group coaching element. Otherwise, it would be hard to justify. Yeah, it's basically a membership, but it sometimes semantics because they're kind of hybrids. But yeah, it's possible.
Someone said 5 minutes to a better mix.
Yep, just look.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar.
Okay, we should let these people go to bed, or go let them binge watch Tiger King. Tiger King.
Oh my gosh,
we've got some Tiger King to watch. We haven't even started.
Can I go on a quick rant real quick
about Tiger King?
No, not about Tiger King in particular, but about binge watching stuff. And like,
are you jealous? Because I'm actually jealous.
No,
I don't think we've ever binge watched anything.
I am not
in our
jealous.
Lives
you know why we haven't? You know why we
least.
haven't binge watched?
Because you do it secretly when I'm gone.
Yes. No, because I'm crushing the content game. Okay, this sounds really like self-centered, but this
really
is. I'm just trying to make a point. You have an opportunity right now, if you're in lockdown, to do one of 2 things: either be a consumer or be a producer. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun and watch shows and movies and things like that. But if you are just like, dude, I'm running out of, like someone literally said the other day on Instagram, I'm running out of movies to watch that are in English, and now I'm watching foreign language films. And I was
that
like,
person needs to create a business.
That person needs a business. If you have time on your hands to watch Tiger King, you should be putting out content. Everyone I know, when I try to tell them content, they're like, but Graham, I don't have time. Like, that takes so much time. But have you watched Tiger King though, bro? It's so good. I'm like, shut your face and grow up.
He does not say that.
No, but seriously,
Oh, he's so mean.
that's a great example. Just cut your binge watching in half and you will free up so much time to not just be a consumer, but be a producer during this time, because just like you're sitting around watching stuff, this is the greatest moment in the last 10 years I can think of, maybe ever, that the world is online right now watching something. Why shouldn't they be watching you? Why shouldn't they be checking out your stuff? That's all I'm saying. So I'm not trying to make fun of binge watching, but I'm just trying to make a point, and it's late, so I'm getting a little loopy, but there is time, and it's a great time. Like, this is how you grow your business right now. Don't get scared. Don't hold on tight and say, oh, things are different. It's never gonna be the same. There's so much we cannot control. I understand this, but what you can control is how many people you serve online during the season and how much content you build up around your little brand, or maybe go back to your current online business and spruce it up a bit, and really the time that you never had to work on your funnel or shoot those extra videos, you have time now to do it. So,
and unlike just spending more time on Instagram stories or TikTok, if you implement the things that we're talking about, or if you already have them, if you take this time to improve them, like we all get so caught up running our businesses that we don't have time to work on the business. We're too busy working in the business. So maybe this is the time that you take to actually finally work on the business. Bottom line being, two things are going to happen. One, it's going to help you to weather this storm a little bit more, a little bit better. And then number two, it is actually going to pay dividends in the long run. So unlike spending more time on Instagram or spending more time on TikTok, this will actually help you, whether you never create another piece of content again. This is actually going to put your business in a better position from here on out to continue to bring in traffic. You'll have a lead magnet, et cetera. You'll be able to better convert the traffic that does come to your site. So there's a benefit now, and there's a long-term benefit, even if you can never circle back around to reproducing the level of content creation that you're able to produce right now.
Boom. I seriously want to thank you guys for hanging out. You could have been watching Tiger King, but instead,
it's still on?
I don't know. Probably you were hanging out with us. If you need anything related to imagery for your brand, she's your girl.
If you're a girl. If you're a guy, you're probably not going to like what I have for you. But if you're a girl, I've totally got all your marketing images ready for you with Social Squares. That's at socialsquares.com.
And seriously, I'm going to plug Social Squares. If you have a business and you're not already a Social Squares member, they are dropping a whole new marketing area on the membership. They're just adding marketing training to grow your business. So it's more than images. And that launches this next week.
Yeah.
And the price is staying the same. So Shay's a great example of giving more she's not lowering her prices. She's just making it more valuable. Yeah. So now is a great time to jump in.
Exactly. I mean, we were already planning to do this beforehand, but that is a perfect example of what we were talking about in answer to that question earlier. Is like, should I drop my price? And we've asked ourselves that, like, should we drop the price to help business owners out? And the conclusion that we came to was like, no, we need to give them more. They need to know how to do newsletter marketing. They need to know how to do Pinterest marketing. They need to know how to do Instagram marketing. So why don't we give them that instead of just reducing the price and still giving them gorgeous imagery? How about we give them gorgeous imagery and we actually teach them how to see real measurable results in their online marketing platform? So we're just giving more. It's a good example of the answer to that question from earlier.
So links below in the description, but go to socialsquares.com if you're a lady business owner. That's going to help you.
Lady biz.
And anyone that wants some of this content more granularly in a checklist format, I put together the link below. It's my 30-day online income jumpstart, but it's literally bullets. 4 weeks of how to go from no audience to making money in 4 weeks. It's do this, then week 2, do this, and this, and this, and week 3, do this. And it breaks it all down for you. It's a free guide. It's step-by-step. It's super helpful. So it's below, or just go to grahamcochrane.com/jumpstart if you're watching on Insta and you can't link to it.
Thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We made our kids stay in their rooms and be silent. So we should probably go tuck them into bed.
They better be asleep. We actually told them, watch your clock. Because you know how to tell time now.
Put yourself to bed, kids.
Exactly. Automation. Let's automate our kids so we can be more efficient and create more content.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you guys all for spending the evening with us. Genuinely, I know there's a lot of content being created these days. So thank you so much. For those of you that were his followers, thank you for just letting me meet you. For those of you that were my followers, here's my better half. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys on Insta also for hanging. See you guys.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.